Hi there, everybody. I hope you can hear me. This is Emily again. Hope you're doing okay, and welcome to my channel for everyone who has never visited before, and welcome back for everyone who knows me. So, well, at the moment, I'm having my third infusion treatment with corticosteroids. As you can see, there you go. So this is the catheter they gave me, and I have something called solumedrol that's going into my veins right now. I'll show you the drip thingy. I'm not sure what the English is for that, but I'm sure you can work out what it is. This is actually the drip. I don't know if you can see that, but here we go. And I'm going to have this for the next 3 hours or so. I started it about half an hour ago, and well, I thought I'd give you a little bit of information about my very first instance of MS, or what I thought could be MS, last year. So it was around February, March 2013, and back at the time, I was working in a place where there was a little bit of snow. I was in this quarry, which is really weird, and so anyways, one morning I went to work, and I remember the ground was very slippery, and as I stepped into the office where I was working, which is like this mini prefab thing, it was pretty odd. It did have some non-grippy sort of carpeting in the middle, well, in the entrance, and it was this rubber mat that stops you from slipping. And I was wearing non-slippery shoes made, well, it basically allowed me to walk in the snow, so it was not slippery at all. And I went into my office, walked onto the mat, and I collapsed on the floor. And at first I thought, well, this isn't a snow, and I just slipped. And a little bit after that, I just thought to myself, well, this is very strange, because I was stepping with my non-slippery shoes on a non-slippery surface, which makes no sense. And I remember hurting myself quite a bit. And after that, I had another instance of tripping, and I remember wearing some pretty high heels that I don't wear very often to go to the cinema, so you don't have to walk around that much. And they were pretty high, not saying they were 6 inches, but they were platform shoes and had a pretty steep heel. And as soon as I stepped out of my house, I collapsed on the mat. And well, I did hurt myself quite a bit, and that's when I started to think, well, there might be something wrong with my foot. And I thought to myself, well, you know, this isn't very good. I didn't have any more symptoms for a while. And very soon I started, my ankle, which was always my right ankle, started to give in a little bit. Like I was walking, and I would twist my ankle, just like those push puppets, you know, that you just push down on it and it collapses. And you release it, and you know those giraffes made of wood, and you push underneath, they have this sort of a pedestal, and you go like that. They collapse, and they spring back to shape right afterwards. And it was the same thing for me, except it was just my right foot, and I did not spring back into shape right after. I just face planted, basically. And so after that, I started tripping more and more often, not always falling, but my ankle just went funny, and it was always my right ankle. And what worried me very much is by April last year, I started to get some pins and needles in my foot, and that was permanent. And this is when I started flipping out a bit, because I have a friend who was close in my childhood, and she lives in my hometown, and this is how she got diagnosed with MS. And she started getting pins and needles in both her feet. And also, because I'm pretty paranoid when it comes to my health, my grandma had diabetes and type 2 diabetes, and we do have a fat gene in my family, and I do like my sugar and everything. And I thought right away, well, I think I was panicking and being paranoid, but I thought, this is it, I'm going to have my foot amputated, because I'm starting to have like those diabetes things and shit, and well. But eventually it turned out to be something just as serious. We'll talk about that another time. So yeah, and I started to get those pins and needles. In the meantime, which didn't help very much, I also had to change GPs, because my GP, which was, she was pretty good, but she moved to Switzerland to work across the border shortly before 2013, and I was not told by her or by her staff or by the facility she worked at. So the shitty thing is that I had to find another doctor in my hometown who didn't know me and had no idea, and I'm still not sure. I still have him as my GP, but I'm still not sure that he's that great. He's nice, but anyways, I told him about my troubles, and he first thought something might be wrong with my foot, which was silly, because when you think about it, my ankle was the problem. Even though I had pins and needles in my foot, the fact my ankle was weak, to me, says basically that it has to be something that's more on the way to your foot, and that means maybe my knee or my hip or something like that. And so I went to get a second opinion from another doctor, and I paid somebody to, basically someone who was also another GP, who was not my GP, but anyway, gave me a second opinion and said to me that I could start wearing some walking aid or something to avoid falling over. He sent me to some facility where they made those things to have my foot measured and to be able to create this, I'm not sure what you call it, it's not a splinter, it's something like that. But anyway, turned out to be completely useless after as well, after I had it done, but that's another story for another day. And basically I went to see this guy who was making those equipments, and he said, well, I can't have the French National Security pay for this if you don't go see a sports doctor, orthopedist type doctor about this first, to have a prescription, like a proper prescription for the equipment. So I'm going to send you to this doctor. And when he told me that, it was bothering me, because I thought, well, he's basically just passing on some clientele to some other people. And anyway, so I reluctantly went to see that particular doctor, and it was quite a funny experience actually. He's very like being in the 60s or something. But anyway, it turned out to be a really good person. And this particular guy was able to examine my nerves, and he processed he went on and did the nerve exam that I needed to have to clear out some things in my diagnosis. And I basically thought that I had my nerve stuck somewhere in my knee, and my ankle was getting weak because of it. And he gave me the exam. Excuse me. And he said to me, looked me in the eye, and he said, well, it looks like the roots of your nerve is affected, and your problem is a lot higher than it seems. It looks like it's in your spine. And this is when I pretty much freaked out, because then I knew that then memories of my friend who had MS and got diagnosed with her foot problem sounded very similar to my case, and I was pretty upset. And he said to me, I'm going to make sure that you get into hospital, because your case is going to worsen, you're going to get paralyzed, and you're having, it seems, an inflammation in your spine, and this is exactly what it turned out to be. And fortunately, he knew some of the doctors in the hospital, because he was a pretty experienced doctor, and he sent me to the hospital, and I got into there, and well, it was pretty much a wreck from there, because my hospital stay was not very pleasant. But basically, this is how it came about that I had a big inflammation in my spine, and it was about time that I got it sorted. And this is the first time when I was presented with the possibility of it being multiple sclerosis, and it was a pretty tough thing. And well, because there was only it was only one instance, and it was the first instance. They said to me that it looked like it was an isolated incident, but I should look out for possible incidents in the future, and things like pins and needles anywhere in my body that could suggest that I had multiple sclerosis. They said, however, that they were pretty sure that it might have been caused by a post-inflammation problem, which I would have preferred personally. It turned out later on in the year that it wasn't the case, unfortunately. But yeah, this is it. This is how I did my first hospital stay to do with my nerve problem. I hope this is informative for some of you who might have concerns and who might have pins and needles in your ankle or might be tripping. I would like you to go on with as many exams as you can, MRIs and things like that. And if you have a doubt with your GP or your general or your doctor, I would say, although I'm no authority on the subject, but I want to say that it's always a good idea to get a second opinion from somebody, because at the end of the day, it's you, and the more you leave it hanging on, the more you're likely to have problems that perhaps might not be cured later on. So the more likely you are to go to the point of no return with these things. And yeah, I hope I'm not being too pessimistic with these things, but it's always a good idea to have these things checked. And well, I'll talk to you later about my other IV treatments, and we'll talk soon. Okay, bye, have a good time.